whatever Bon Jovi's arena football team was called. I hate them all.
Wow.
I don't have a lot of hate in my heart, but I do have a lot of hate.
You actually kind of do, because I was about to ask you if you hate them more than Boston fan.
That's tough. It's a close second. I mean, any given day, either one of them could be number one. I'll tell you that.
Hey, there was a lot of talk out of Philly this week about revenge for us beating them at home for the NFC Championship game back in 2002 or 3. I don't remember exactly what year it was played. Super Bowl was in 03, but I may have played them in 02. Okay, so yeah, and so they were going to come down here and beat us in our house. That didn't happen.
No. In fact, they didn't even get on the board until the fourth quarter. It was a 31-15 win by your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was not close at all. The fact that they even scored twice was pretty much a downright miracle. We must have had the third string in by then. I don't know. We were headlong into a good time. So let's break it down. Chief, I'm going to start with you. We're going to break down the defense. You know what I saw, and you'll break down for us further, but a full-strength defense showed us what they can do today.
Yeah, full strength minus Sean Murphy-Bunting, who is our number one cornerback. So, I'm going to say 95% there. But, in the defensive side of the locker room, there's a saying. And that saying is that the defense wins games while the offense entertains. Okay, and we saw that today because Philadelphia came in here sporting the number one rush defense in the entire offense, their number one rush offense in the entire NFL, and they ran into the number one / maybe number two rush defense in the NFL, and those guys got stopped. We saw only 95 yards rushing. 36 of those came from the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Their running backs got nowhere on us, under 60 yards that they had. Jalen Hurts himself, he threw for 258 yards, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, only a 52% completion rate. The time of possession is a little misleading. Okay, time of possession, it winds up in the Bucs' favor, 27 minutes to 33 minutes, roughly. Okay, so, but in the fourth quarter, the Buccaneers had their second string defense in almost across the board. Okay, they do sustain some drives in the fourth quarter. They score some points in the fourth quarter. That was not against our starters. Our starters, those guys played a fantastic game. And I'm going to tell you what, with the exception of 1 or 2 crash downs that I saw, what I did see from the defense is something I've been very critical on them, so I want to give them some props. They had penetration, they had containment, and there was nowhere for those guys to go. When they tried to run outside, they couldn't get there. When they tried to come up the middle, they couldn't go anywhere. So, I mean, really and truly, this defense, especially the defensive line, those guys did a really nice job controlling what Philadelphia was trying to do to us. I do have 2 small bits of critique that I want to bring up on this team here. The first one is our tacklers. Our top 4 tacklers were all defensive backs. We didn't even get into a top 5 tackler today until number 5. So you're talking Edwards and safeties and cornerback. I mean, that's kind of the same thing that we've been seeing for the last couple weeks. And I guess it's working, but I would really like to see some defensive backs get in on this.
Hey, Chief, can I make an observation on that? Yeah, can I make an observation on that real quick, Chief? One of the things I noticed today was knowing that they were going to run the Philadelphia, and they like to spread the ball out. They like to run in-arounds and what have you. We saw a lot of those safeties or corners get up on the line and play the run immediately. And I think that's why some of those tackles came in. It wasn't necessarily that they were getting through our line or our linebackers, but we were playing to that off the corner position or off the ends.
Yes, you're right. That is what was going on there, but you've got to be very careful when doing that. Jalen Hurts, okay, probably not a top 15 passing quarterback in the NFL. We've run into a quarterback that can throw the football while our safeties are pulled up to stop the run. That's going to create a problem for us. That's my point to that. Our linebackers have to do a better job of being able to go left and right and stop and handle some of that containment on their own without having to go with safety help.
Yeah, the Eagles did have a lot of success, especially on third down, passing to their tight end Goddard. Some third and shorts. He was open while he was being covered by a linebacker. And, agree with you, Beloved. A lot of the tackles that came from the secondary were off of blitzes, corner blitzes, safety blitzes that were essentially blowing up their run. A lot of those were tackles for losses, which is great. So I agree. You get an Aaron Rodgers back there, even a Matt Stafford, which is a potential opponent coming up in the next round or two. Both those guys could be dangerous in that kind of scenario.
So I have one last critique. Now I want to bring this up, okay? And because of the fact that it worked out in the Bucs' favor, I don't think you're going to hear anybody else talk about it. But in the fourth quarter, we're up by 16. We're close to the goal line, and we decide to go for it on 4th down. So we're up by 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. But if you've watched enough football, you've seen stranger things happen. You've seen 2 touchdowns scored within under a minute at times. For me, I would much rather have seen the Buccaneers kick a field goal and go up by 3 full possessions on that instead of, I understand it worked out just fine. Bruce Arians was saying, I'm confident in my defense. He goes, my offensive line is really good. We've been running the football. I'm going to go ahead and let these guys prove that they can do it. They didn't get it. And they put us in a position where things could have gone funny. They didn't. But I'm just saying, when you're playing for your survival, you win or you go home. I think you take that 3 points and you go up by 3 full possessions. Almost impossible at that time for another team to come back.